So we're going to be working with telling time in Spanish. You guys should have already looked at that big numbers Bible thing. I can show you what that's going to look like. If you go to the Numbers Bible, it should look something like this. You can see we have our numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At this point, we've got 11 through 15. They're a little strange. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then as we get into the 16 through 19 range, notice this sounds like diez. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And as we move on with our 20s, remember that we're not going to use 20 with a Y, 20y. We're going to use 20 with an I. Everything after our 20s, we're going to start seeing that 30y. So 31, 32. So get accustomed to the Numbers Bible. The next thing I want to do is go over some of these numbers. So, ¿cómo se dice en español 10? Y vosotros podéis ver que es 10. ¿Y cómo se dice 20? ¿Cómo se dice 29? Es 29. ¿Cómo se dice 1? 1, claro. ¿Cómo se dice 4? 4. ¿Cómo se dice 13? Es 13. ¿Cómo se dice 16? 16. It's kind of like 16. Con acento. ¿Cómo se dice 22? 22. Con acento otra vez. Y 26 is 26. That próximo. Now that we know some of these numbers, we can move on. So we're going to start with just the hours. So the minute hand is the longer hand. I hope you guys all know that. If not, the minute hand is the longer one. The shorter hand is the hour hand. We're only going to work with this slide with the hour hand. So when we start, we're going to start with 1. 1 has all these stars and arrows and all that because this is the only number, the only one that uses es-la. It's es-la instead of son-la. So we have es-la una. And as we move this, it's son las dos, son las tres, son las cuatro, son las cinco, son las seis, son las siete, son las ocho, son las nueve, son las 10, son las 11, and son las 12. Es-la una, again, is the only one with es-la. So I have to ask you guys, what is 15 minutes when we're talking about a clock? I've broken this one up into 4 parts. You guys can see the 4 parts right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each one of these represents a 15-minute chunk. And if we think about this mathematically, you guys can start to see that when I put this right here, that really each section is 1/4. So every 15 minutes equals 1/4, and 1/4 you all should know is like a quarter. Think of 4 quarters in a dollar. So if each one of these is a quarter, you guys should be able to see 4 quarters equals the whole. So we're going to call each one of these chunks a quarter. And oddly enough, when we do this 15-minute chunk, see 5, 10, 15, is 1/4 or a cuarto. But what do 2 quarters equal? If we take this and the 2 and we put them together, half of this, what does this half equal? Well, 2 quarters equals a half. Well, we have a word in math that you guys use that gets right to the middle of something, right to the exact half point, and that is called a median. So we have a word really close to that, and that is media. So when we take our first quarter and our second quarter and get halfway down exactly, we have media. This is the halfway point, or 30 minutes. Now we're going to take one more quarter away, and again, that's going to be a quarter, so a cuarto. And when we get to our last section, it's going to be on the dot, and that's en punto. And so you can see that all our numbers together are going to equal. A 15-minute chunk is a cuarto. A half an hour chunk is y media. Another quarter right here is going to be menos cuarto. And then the full chunk altogether is en punto. So this is something you guys need to see. I see this look a lot in class. And people are like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so lazy. And this is the look I tend to give them right back. Frustration, because I'm like, dude, just work really hard. But this is what I'm going to hear from people. Senor, I'm lazy. I only ever want to count to 30, but never to 31. That's way too much work. You're in luck when it comes to Spanish. Now, everything on this right half, everything, we're going to use the phrase y. So if you want to say and 5 minutes, you're going to say y 5 minutos. If you want to say and 10 minutes, you're going to say y 10 minutos. And a quarter, y cuarto. Or you can say and 15, y 15 minutos. So we have to count all the way up to 30 minutes because, as you know, exactly halfway through a clock is 30 minutes. So in order to get this thing to move 30 minutes, it has to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And everything up to 30 is the E category. But there's a whole other half of the clock. And instead of counting to 31, what we're going to start doing is we're just going to start using the phrase minus. So we're going to say maybe it's almost 9 o'clock, but it's not quite. We're 29 minutes to 9, or 9 o'clock minus 29 minutes. So we would say son las 9 menos 29. Menos 25, menos 20, menos cuarto, menos 10, menos 5 minutos, and then finally when we're right on the spot, it's 9 exactly. So again, we have minus on the left side, and everything that's leading up to the hour we have minus, and everything after the hour we have E. So here's some more about hours. Again, I wanted to show you one more time. It's the same slide as before. Remember, es la una is the only one here, and then we're going to add our minutes afterwards. So I just showed you how to add minutes onto this. We're going to first say the hour, so es la una, and then add 15. And from the previous slide, you can see that adding 15 is simply y cuarto. Okay, and you can see that right here. So I have this master slide for you guys right here. This is for minutes again, so I'm not going to mess with the hour hand here. We're going to leave it at 12. But for the minutes, it is y 5, y 10, y cuarto, a quarter. Notice that one's in red for that reason. Y 20, y 25, y media in red because it's in median, it's the halfway point. Now we're going into that minus category that we had before. Right here, the minus category in blue, that's where we're going to deal with right now. So menos 25, perdón, menos 25, menos 20, menos cuarto in red because it's a quarter, menos 10, and menos 5. Lastly, we've got times of the day. So if you want to say something's happening in the daytime, you're going to say de la mañana. If you want to say it's happening in the afternoon, de la tarde. If you want to say it's happening at night, you're going to say de la noche. So for example, to put it all together for just one, we're going to say it's 1:20. I'm going to start out by moving my hour hand. Wally. Sorry, that's my dog. I'm going to start out by moving the hour hand to es la una. Now we need to figure out how to do the minutes. And when it's es la una, we need to move this to 20. Es la una y 20. So es la una, right here, es la una. Y 20, right here. And if you want to say in the morning, or in the afternoon, or at night, you just add these. So if I want to say it's 1 in the afternoon, es la una de la tarde. So I hope this helped you out a little bit. Good luck with the rest of this. Keep going on with the rest of the activities. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand, and I will try and help you.